Greens Senator Sarah Hanson-Young has called on her former colleague Dorinda Cox to consider resigning from federal parliament following her dramatic defection from the Greens to align with Labour. Speaking candidly, Hanson-Young described it as a matter of principle and respect for voters. "If somebody is elected as one party and then jumps ship later on, I do think the honourable thing is to resign from the parliament," she said. "But that's not the rules, so we're left where we are." The comments come in the wake of Senator Cox's shock announcement that she was quitting the Greens, citing stronger alignment with the federal government's agenda. Her move has sent ripples through the political landscape, particularly within progressive ranks, where questions around loyalty, integrity, and accountability are now swirling. But the move has also raised the ire of the Greens and brought back to the surface long-standing issues within the party, including internal investigations into workplace complaints. Multiple sources within the Greens confirm that Senator Cox was the subject of several bullying complaints made to both the Parliamentary Workplace Support Service (PWSS) and the party itself. These complaints, however, have now been shelved, given that the party no longer has jurisdiction over her. That investigation was not concluded, said Dean Smith, the WA State Director of the Greens. But once she left, we lost the ability to take it any further. That's the reality of the rules we're working with. The timing of Cox's defection has led many to question whether her exit was a strategy to avoid potential consequences from those investigations. Senator Lidia Thorpe, a former colleague within the Greens and now an independent, also weighed in, revealing that she had made her own formal complaint about Cox almost 3 years ago, one that remains unresolved. "The Prime Minister of this country told the people of this country that there were no ongoing issues with bullying and he was wrong," Senator Thorpe said. "He should have done his homework before he opened his mouth." Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has stood by the government's handling of the matter, reiterating that any complaints were managed through an independent system designed to keep politics out of workplace disputes. "We have an independent system. That is appropriate," he said. "It is an independent system which was established for these issues to avoid exactly that, to avoid political interference, so those issues are dealt with appropriately." Pressed further, Albanese dismissed criticism from the Greens as unsurprising. "It is not surprising that there's opposition coming from the Greens given the circumstances," he said, doubling down on his belief that Labour was the natural party of government, and a home for serious progressive change. But Senator Hanson-Young was not buying the Prime Minister's explanation. She accused Labour of hypocrisy, pointing to how the party responded when Fatima Payman, formerly Labour, left to become an independent after refusing to toe the government's line on a motion supporting Palestinian statehood. "There is a bit of hypocrisy, of course, about how Labour has responded to this," Hanson-Young said. "It wasn't okay to jump ship for Fatima Payman, but apparently when it's people coming to them, it's all okay." The incident has reignited debate about how parliamentarians switch parties mid-term, and whether they should be required to recontest their seat under a new banner. Many within the Greens believe the public deserves a say when their representative no longer reflects the party they voted for. For Senator Cox, the backlash has been swift and fierce. She has previously apologized for the distress faced by her staff, acknowledging the pressures of her office but also insisting that media reports on the complaints lacked necessary context. Labour, for its part, has avoided answering questions about whether it contacted any of the complainants before accepting Cox into its ranks, a silence that many view as strategic avoidance. Senator Thorpe remains deeply critical of both her former party and the government. "There's still an ongoing issue with bullying in the workplace and there's a lot of work to do," she said. "Labour needs to take that seriously." The controversy has also placed renewed scrutiny on how political parties handle internal complaints, and whether enough is being done to protect staff and ensure accountability at the highest levels of leadership. For the Greens, Cox's departure marks not just the loss of a senator but the unraveling of a key discussion around workplace culture and the responsibilities elected officials have to their staff, their party, and the voters who put them in office. It is a moment that tests the credibility of the Albanese government, particularly its claim to being progressive and transparent. Critics argue that the government can't have it both ways, holding one standard for those who leave and another for those who arrive. At the heart of it lies a deeper question: what does it mean to be accountable in Australian politics today? Senator Cox's decision may have been rooted in political alignment, but the fallout is clearly about more than ideology. It's about trust. It's about ethics. And it's about whether voters are being treated with the respect they deserve. As the dust settles, both the Greens and Labour are left with uncomfortable questions to answer. For the Greens, how did they allow such serious allegations to go unresolved for so long? For Labour, why did they not investigate more thoroughly before opening their doors? And for Senator Cox, the issue may not be whether she found a new political home, but what she left behind in her wake. The reverberations of her defection will continue to echo in Canberra, in Senate hallways, in staff offices, and in public debate. One senator's decision has exposed a much broader fracture, not just between political parties, but within the integrity of Parliament itself. As both parties dig in, the public watches. Not just to see who scores political points, but to understand whether the system is truly working for them, or only for those who know how to work the system. Australia's political establishment now faces a moment of reckoning. The questions won't go away, and neither will the people demanding answers.